Happy Saturday, Bwalia Desmond here. Thank you for tuning in today. I titled my message, Is a Picture Worth 1,000 Words? Well, this message was inspired by something that I had to do today. So it was my mentor, Paul Martinelli's birthday today. He's our John Maxwell mentor. And so it was his birthday today, and I wanted to share a picture of when I first met him at IMC in Orlando. So I'm searching through my pictures and I found a couple of pictures that I was so excited to share, because those pictures depicted exactly what went on that moment. So you have a mentor, you haven't met forever before, and then you finally meet them. And there's only one way to capture that moment, right? Through photography. And it was such a special picture. It had a picture of me and him, and I had his one-on-one attention. Like, he is all in. And it just, just seeing that picture just triggered such great memories of being at IMC, such great memories of meeting one of the greatest mentors there is. And I started to think about pictures, because while I was going through those pictures, I saw a picture of my friend Becky when we were getting ready for a race, and then I saw a picture of when she was so desperately sick and she was just laying in her husband's on her husband's chest, and it's like, my goodness, that captured that moment. And just seeing that picture took me back to that moment. So what do pictures do? They remind us of where we've been. They remind us. My husband Tim has pictures set up on our computer, so they just scroll throughout the day. There's just pictures that are continuously running on the computer. And I always think about how special that is, because every once in a while you catch a glimpse and, oh my goodness, it's a picture of the kids when they were babies, or when they were, he's taken some video of when we could hear their voices, and we don't even remember their voices, of how they sounded. But pictures are special. They remind you of the experiences you've had. Like, there's so many cruise pictures. Like, we're cruise junkies. We love taking cruises. And just seeing those pictures reminds us, oh my goodness, we cannot wait for the next vacation. Just to be on a ship again, to be sailing, to be carefree, just having, life be like it used to be when we could travel again. It captures cherished moments. When you think back to, if you're married, when you go back through your photo album and you're looking at your wedding day, from you getting ready, the ceremony, the reception, all the people. I mean, it's just there's so many cherished memories that, eventually some of them fade, but until you look at the picture, you're going, oh my goodness, yes, this is what really happened that day. They hold deep moments in our hearts, where you just think, so maybe you haven't seen somebody for a really long time, and you run across a picture of them, and what that does to the inside of you. They tell stories. You can look at somebody's picture, and usually you can see in the eyes of somebody whether or not there's like pain, or whether there's just joy, or what is happening in that moment. They just tell stories, don't they? They freeze moments. Because you know how fast life is. Life is just cruising by, and it's always such a fast train. But they freeze moments for you, where you're able to sit back and you're able to enjoy and admire. Maybe you have pictures of when you were in your tip-top shape and you just loved the way that you looked. You can go back and look at those pictures, and it's frozen time, isn't it? And you can reminisce and think about how good it would be to get back to that particular size, or have that particular haircut, or that hair color. I mean, they just freeze that, don't they? And you know what I love? When I was coaching people in their weight loss journey, and I would always say, you got to do a before picture, and most people would try to fight it, but it's like, hey, I don't want to see it, but it's for you. It's for you, and you're going to understand why. And then partway through the journey, when they would, maybe some of them would say, well, I'm not seeing the scale move, because people just assume that, a scale has to move in order for progress to be made. And that's not true. So I'd have them pull out the picture of when they started to where they are. And there's usually tons of inches lost. And that would create momentum for them to say, yeah, this is actually really working. Yes, they tell truths, don't they? Pictures don't lie. They will help you figure out what you need to work on, what you love the most about you. I mean, it's just incredible, isn't it? They allow you to stay close to loved ones, because if that's all you have are pictures, for the longest time, that's all we had. You know, I hadn't seen my parents in 16 years before I saw them again for the first time, and we had pictures. I had pictures to glean to, I had pictures to lean on, and pictures that excited me about them. And I think, you know, this is why Facebook does those memories. They do the Facebook memories to jog your memory, to say, hey, you know what? Hey, this is what you were doing on this particular day. Because otherwise you kind of forget about it, don't you? You forget. You know, you just move on, and then here come these little memories, especially if it's the ones when your kids were in T-ball or they were playing some little sport, and it's like, oh my goodness, they were so little. So much fun. They're just... they jog our memories, don't they? It's just so good. They help us to see the world around us, you know, with our own eyes, they express emotions. You look at a picture and you can just feel the emotion of what is happening during that time. So I want to encourage you that if you haven't been a picture taker, you don't take pictures often, or you're the one who's always taking pictures of other people and you're never in the pictures, this year, put yourself in pictures. You know, kids are so good about taking pictures of every moment that they're in. Sometimes it's they overdo it, but at least they are always in pictures. So make that your goal. If that's not something that you're used to or comfortable doing, just, do it. Because you're going to need those pictures. And I think about how sad it is when you need to gather pictures and you can barely find enough pictures to cover a board. You know, that should never be. A person's life should always be full of memories, full of pictures, full of captured moments. So don't let that be you. And, I found this incredible article too that gives reasons of why photography matters. So if you want that, I can send that to you. Just send me a message and say, hey, I want that article. So I thank you for tuning in. Be excited about taking pictures. And thanks for tuning in. I'll see you tomorrow.